All right, welcome to Unlimited Power. I'm D-Rod, and here for another Tuesday night stream where we're going to go through Grand Admiral Tarkin, sorry, Grand Moff Tarkin, not Admiral, and we're just going to be playing some decks that we found on Star Wars Unlimited Deck Builder. We're going to take three hot decks, technically two hot decks and then one I built of Tarkin, and we'll just kind of be going through there, playing those decks, and I'll give my thoughts, show a couple of the combos that we're seeing there that people have built, and just kind of show where Tarkin's sitting right now in the meta until everything is released. Release date for Star Wars Unlimited again is March 8th. We'll be seeing that released in Q1 of 2024, and that'll be really exciting. I myself have been looking at stores for locally for pre-order and just seeing where we're going to be building a community here in the Portland area. So really excited for this game. Every week there's more and more cards that come out, and we see anywhere between 4 to 6 every week, and I've just been loving it. So let's just get to it and look immediately at the Grand Moff Tarkin and see what we have here. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at one of the hot ones that are currently on Star Wars Unlimited Deck Builder, and that is Tarkin Red Aggro by Garbage Rollers. So let's just take a look here. Garbage Rollers puts a lot of content out if you're not familiar with them. A lot of gameplay, and we can see they're doing a lot of deck building on Star Wars Unlimited DB. So let's take a look at what they put in here. It's a 50 card deck, as always, running red, green, and black, which is aggression, command, and villainy. They're running Tarkin Town as their base, which you can, for once a game, you can deal 3 damage to a damaged non-leader unit, which is pretty cool. I'm never sure if that's really worth the 5 health, but you know that 3 damage can come in handy when you need it. So, and then Grand Moff Tarkin. If you're not familiar with him, if you haven't seen me do a lot of sealed streams with him, he's very good. He is green and black, and for 1 resource, you can tap him to give an experience token to an Imperial unit. He comes out for 5, and when he comes into play, when he attacks, he can give an Imperial unit an experience token. So that means usually on your, not turn 5, when you have 5 resources, you can usually pay 1 resource, put an experience token on a unit, put Tarkin out, have Tarkin attack, and put an additional experience token on another unit or the same one that turn. I like him a lot. I wish he kind of had a little bit more health than 7, but 7 is good, and we can definitely build upon that in some of these decks. So let's take a look at what Garbage Rollers is playing. So 3 Agent Callus here, great card, 5 cost with ambush, loving that. And when another unique unit is defeated, you may draw a card, and you can only use this ability once each round. So you can't untap Callus, swing again on another unique unit to draw more cards, but it is a great ability, and that ambush is really nice. He also has the Imperial mechanic trait and the Trooper trait. So I like Callus here, excited to see more of him. Yeah, hopefully we see a couple of ones that were there, some rebel-based Agent Calluses, or maybe even some older ones when he's taken on a different type of guards that he talks about a lot in Rebels. So Ardent Sympathizer, 3 cost, 3/3 unit. It's good. It's a trooper. It's 1 red. It's really not bad. If you have initiative, it becomes a 5/3 when it swings. So it's a really good card. It's a great one to play in red, especially if you're already playing trooper-based abilities. I know we're not playing. No, we are playing General Tag, so that will trigger for that, which is good. So Black Guard seems to be a staple. If you're running black, it's 3/3 Sentinel Imperial Trooper. Death Star Stormtrooper, another one, just a 1 cost, 3/1 Imperial Trooper. Once you start putting experience counters on it, makes it a lot better. First Legion Snow Trooper here will, great, 2/3 Imperial Trooper. You hit both aspects, so there's really no penalty here. General Tag. General Tag's a great one when you're playing a trooper deck, and you'll find troopers in a lot of other sets, not just Imperial. You'll see, as we saw, the Sympathizer was a trooper. You'll see some Rebel troopers. And this one gives an experience token to each of up to 3 trooper units. I like it. It's great. It's a good move for a character that isn't seen very much in the Star Wars universe. For much of what I know of Tag, we really only see him in the Death Star opening. And he's just, a victim of Vader, really. So I like it. I like seeing him. The art, not too fond of, but it gets the point across. So General Veers, however, is a great Imperial officer. It's a 3/3/3 that gives all Imperial units +1/+1. That's going to help most of these units here, which is great. Seasoned Shore Trooper, another good one. So 2 cost for a 2/3, and once you have 6 or more resources, you get stronger. This is a great one to start putting experience tokens on early, because it just becomes really difficult for your opponent to deal with once you get 6 resources. And Snowtrooper Lieutenant, a great one that when it comes into play, you can attack with another unit, and if it's Imperial, it gets +2/+0. So not only do you get to play a card and attack with a card in 1 turn, you have the possibility of attacking for an additional 2. So, space units, we're playing Imperial Interceptor to deal 3 damage to another space unit when it hits play. Starwing Scout, if you have the initiative, you can draw 2 cards when it's defeated, and it's a 4/1, so it can hit pretty hard and needs to be dealt with, and the goal here is to keep initiative if you're going to play this card. TIE Advance to give more experience tokens to other friendly Imperial units like Tarkin. And the TIE Fighter, which is another 1-cost card that you can just throw the experience tokens on if you don't have anything else to play at turn 1. As far as events, Garbage Rollers have chosen Force Choke, which you're always going to pay for 2 because you have no Force units. But you can deal 5 damage to a non-vehicle unit and draw a card. Maximum firepower, as long as you have 2 Imperial units. You can essentially hit your opponent's unit with the power of those 2 Imperial units you choose. Open Fire, great card, 3 costs to deal 4 damage to a unit. And the last event is Overwhelming Barrage, probably my favorite. Give a friendly unit +2/+2, and for this phase, and then it deals damage damage equal to its power divided as you choose among any number of other units. So put this on a 8/8 character, it's going to become a 10/8, and you're going to be able to split 10 damage between any of the zones that you want, ground or space. Great card, can really wipe the board when you need it. Really the only card we're seeing like this, I think the only one we have that's close to it is Emperor Palpatine, who can also split up some damage here, so it's a great board wiper. So this is Tarkin Red Aggro by Garbage Rollers. We're going to go ahead and throw it against a couple of decks here. Let's throw it up against one we played against last week, which was Tim Buns on Blue Dabu Dee Dabu Die. So this was a Grand Admiral Thrawn deck that was yellow, yellow, black. I thought it was really cool. You can find that in past videos if you want to learn more, or you can just look up this deck on StarWarsunlimited DB and go from there. So let's get to it. We're going to choose this as player 2. We're going to do Tarkin Red Aggro as player 1 here on ForceTable.net, and we're going to just jump to it. All right, let's see here. Are we going to take a mulligan? There's a lot of low-cost cards here. I don't really want to give up any of these, but that's the name of the game, isn't it? I think if we give up anything, we may give up the... we may give up these ships, I think, as we switch the zones here. So yeah, let's keep it. That's my rule. We'll just keep every mulligan and go from there. So, no mulligan. Grand Admiral Thrawn's going to mulligan, I see. Alright, so yep, we're going to choose the Imperial Interceptor and the TIE Advance to kind of get a more of an aggressive start here. Let's go ahead and play. We're going to choose the Death Star Stormtrooper here. It's 1, so we'll be able to activate Grand Moff's ability. Thrawn goes ahead and he plays the Mining Guild TIE Fighter. On attack, you can pay 2, and if you do, draw a card. Now let's take a look at Thrawn's ability in case you're unfamiliar. So Grand Admiral Thrawn here, when the action phase starts, look at the top card of each player's deck. Okay, so he already knows what I have on top of my deck, I do not. For 1 resource and an action, you can tap Thrawn to reveal the top card of any player's deck and exhaust a unit that costs the same or less than the revealed card. So it's really important for Thrawn to be paying attention to what is on top of decks, understand what kind of knowledge they're giving me as their opponent, And they have to kind of retain that as well, knowing what's going to my hand. Now, what's great about Star Wars Unlimited is they have said you can take notes. So if you are playing someone like Thrawn and you're worried about not having a great memory, it's good to kind of like keep a little notepad with you and write down some of the cards you're seeing. And you'll just kind of be guessing from there if this card's still in the hand or was it put into the resource pile. You may not know, but it's good food for thought there. Now, when Thrawn is on the battlefield, he still keeps the same ability of looking at the top card of your deck, but on attack, he will trigger the ability. So similar to Tarkin here, they both have abilities that stay the same in and out of play, but have different triggers. They cost resources, or they're going to cost you to an attack. You can't just let these characters sit around, which I like. All right. So for my action, we're going to go ahead and use Thrawn's ability to use one resource and to give an Imperial unit a token. Now Thrawn has kept one resource open for themselves. Not that they're going to tap my character. And we can see that there. They claimed the initiative on their turn, so we're going to pass. Let's draw 2 cards here. Now we're about to go to 3 resources. I don't really want to play any of the other, like all these cards are really good. Tag needs more trooper units, which we have. The Stormtrooper can make the Death Star Stormtrooper swing a little bit quicker. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of the Sympathizer, I think. No, let's get rid of the Cell Block Guard. We're going to get rid of the Cell Block Guard. I want to put some pressure here on Thrawn, and the Sympathizer may be it. Okay, Thrawn goes first. And he gives a non-leader unit -4 from Jeddah City. So he spends his turn to give the Death Star Stormtrooper -4. So it is a 0-2 at the moment. Nothing really is going to change that, but we can put some pressure. You know, if he's going to do that, let's go. He's not ready. We'll do this. Attack with the unit, yes. And swing. Now, the problem here was I definitely should have taken my turn to put an experience token on Tarkin, on the Stormtrooper to swing for a little bit more. That may have given Thrawn the notion of like, okay, I'm still going to tap him. And that may have prevented Boba Fett from coming out. But this gives us the opportunity to spread our experience tokens around, which we're going to do, and put one on the Lieutenant. The Mining Guild TIE Fighter is going to swing, but he has no resources, so he can't draw, so no hand advantage there. And we're going to go ahead and take the initiative. Perfect. 5 cards in play. I really don't want to give up any more troopers, but Overwhelming Barrage can be that answer we're going to need. So I think we give up... I think we give up the Sympathizer. I don't want to, but... I think it's a good play. Okay, we're not going to be using Tarkin's ability this turn, so let's just go ahead and put some pressure on him. We have 2 units. We could do something different, but we're going to play the Lieutenant. And we're going to attack with the Death Star Stormtrooper on Jeddah City. Now we've just given him +2, so he swings for 6 instead of 4. Boba Fett swings on our new Lieutenant, so he doesn't get the benefits. This is great because now we can trigger Tarkin Town, and we are going to trigger it to deal 3 damage to Boba Fett, taking him off the field. Mining Guild TIE Fighter is going to swing, and we can see that Tarkin uses his ability... that Thrawn uses the ability of the TIE Fighter to draw a card, so he has only 2 resources remaining. We also have 2 resources. We're going to go ahead and play our Seasoned Shore Trooper here. Thrawn uses his ability to reveal the top card of my deck, which is Open Fire, and taps down the Snow Trooper, which is fine. This allows us a moment to take the initiative. Thrawn plays a TIE Fighter for 1, but he can't do anything this turn. We now have 3 troopers in play, which is great. Wow, this is a tough choice. So we have 5 resources. Veers is going to give +1/+1 to all Imperial units, and General Tag's going to give +1 or sorry, give an experience token to all trooper units. So all these troopers can swing this turn and an additional +2. I think that's really what we want to do here. I think we're going to give up open fire because overwhelming barrage is going to be a little bit better. Thrawn also knows we have overwhelming fire, so he may be waiting for us to use something like that. We're going to go ahead and play tag to give a token to each unit. 1, 2, 3. All three of them get a unit. And Thrawn is going to reveal that we have another Veers coming to tap down our Shore Trooper. That's fine. That's not the one he should have tapped. Now we play Veers, giving +1/+1 to all of our units. And Thrawn plays No Good to Me Dead, where he can exhaust one of our units and they cannot ready this round. So, good job on Thrawn. But we can now activate our Moff. So we're going to go ahead and deploy the leader. Thrawn's going to swing on our base with another TIE fighter. He's not going to pay the 2 to draw a card. We'll swing with the Grand Moff, and we're actually going to put the token on Veers. We want to keep Veers in play. And then Thrawn swings with the Snow Trooper Lieutenant. He targets the TIE Fighter as the unit that can attack, and the TIE Fighter gets +2, hitting us for 4, dropping us to 18. At this point, we don't have the initiative if we swing with the Snow Trooper Lieutenant, but that Lieutenant's hitting for 5, and that's going to drop the Jedha City location base down to 9. So this game is pretty much over real quick. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and pass. And we have this overwhelming barrage. This is really great. We have the option here. We already have Veers, so we don't need him. He can go away, giving us 6 resources. So yeah, we can just go to work here. All right, the opponent decides to put Thrawn into play first. I don't think that's the right play. We're going to play Overwhelming Barrage. Now our options here, our strongest character is the Death Star Stormtrooper, who has 3 base, 2 experience tokens, and the +1 from Veers. So he swings for 5. The Seasoned Shore Trooper also swings for 5, so either one is good. I guess we're going to choose the Seasoned Shore Trooper because that's going to get +2/+2 the whole round, so it'll be able to attack. So Overwhelming Barrage, we'll choose the Seasoned, and now we have 8 damage to split up. We're going to go 1 here to take out the TIE Fighter. I love this. I love this about Force Table. If you're not playing Force Table yet, I recommend trying it out. I like it a lot more than TTS. Yes, you don't get the other opponents, but you really do get to interact with the game with the better UI, and you can load decks a lot easier, and you don't have to mess around too much on the screen, which I really enjoy. All right, we cleared the board except for Thrawn here. We're going to do 3 additional damage to him, dropping him down to 6 health remaining. All right, he's going to swing, and for some reason he chooses General Veers. I've said this a few times, the best decision, but it does a lot of, makes a lot of really good ones. So we'll put an experience token on the Shore Trooper. We now have, wow, they played Cunning. So Cunning, if you're not familiar, is a 4-cost event. You have to be playing 2 yellow to really take advantage of it, which this deck that Tim built does. Choose 2 in any order. So you can return a non-leader unit with 4 or less power to its owner's hand, which they did with Veers. Give a unit +4/+0. Exhaust up to 2 units, or an opponent discards a random card from the hand. So they exhausted my Shore Trooper and my tag. All right, so that only leaves my Snow Trooper Lieutenant. I'm not too worried. Thrawn is pretty much on the last leg here. We're swinging for 5. Or sorry, we're swinging for 4. And then we're going to take the initiative because he decided to play Greedo. All right. I'll just there really isn't anything else to do here. This game's pretty much locked now. Since we go first, there's nothing the opponent can do to respond. Tarkin will go ahead and walk right in to Jedha City, and he'll take the base himself. So great job. Yeah, I really enjoyed this, let's go ahead and go back to a different deck. So we're going to load new ones. All right, so that was Tarkin against a Thrawn deck. I enjoyed that a bit. Tarkin was just really too fast. So a lot of characters coming into play, multiple experience tokens, other ways of building your characters. Thrawn is slower, so just didn't have the options here we needed. Let's go ahead and step it up. We're going to choose the Leia Tempo deck for number 2 here. And we're going to try Tarkin Red Aggro by Garbage Rollers against the Leia. All right, let's go ahead and try this out. Okay, I'm not a big fan of my hand, but I never am. I just never am. That's okay. The goal of keeping mulligans, or not mulliganing actually, keeping your hand, is to prepare you for those scenarios where you really do have like the worst case option, right? You really are stuck with it. If you mulligan down and you get 6 more cards and they're all bad, you're gonna have to play with it anyway. A lot of people talk about getting the God Hand. The God Hand's great, but it's God Hand. Yes, it's going to set you up the way you want. It can have all the right cards, all the right tempo that you want, but you always need to be playtesting in ways that can really benefit you. And the best way to do that is playing in difficult situations. And that's, taking the hand that you would mulligan. Now in a tournament, I would mulligan every time, but in playtesting, I prefer not to. So we're going to keep with that strategy. We're going to be playing Leia Organa. So if you're not familiar with her, is pretty ridiculous. So she's the Alliance General. As an action, you can attack with a rebel unit, and then you may attack with another rebel unit. So for one action, you can swing with 2 characters. An average action only allows you to play with 1, so Leia over here is breaking the rules, and then that's what makes. She's a 5 cost to deploy. She comes into play as a 3/6, and her ability is still pretty similar, except Leia is the unit that attacks, and then she swings with another rebel unit. This deck uses a lot of other characters that also have attack abilities that may continue to essentially have tempo. So, yeah, let's go ahead and see what we're going to do here. So 2 cards that have to go to the pile, the resource pile here. I think we're just going to go with our late gamers with the Starwing Scout, which is not an Imperial, and the TIE Advance. This allows us to play a Death Star Stormtrooper on turn 1. We're going to play that now and hope that we don't see a Leia. Okay. Well, we saw Leia, and she ready to resource, so she still may play a unit. We're going to go ahead and put a token on our Death Star Stormtrooper, and here it comes, R2-D2. When played or on attack, look at the top card of your deck. You may put it on the bottom of your deck. So she's filtering, and she's about to get the cards she wants to see. We'll go ahead and take the initiative. Force Choke is good. Old Woman Barrage we're going to want to save. A lot of good cards here. I think we're going to get rid of the TIE Fighter because we really want to have Force Choke available. We can't let Leia's board get too big. That's where Leia gets a little bit ridiculous. We're going to go ahead and put another experience token on this Stormtrooper. And here you go. Fleet Lieutenant. Leia plays the Fleet Lieutenant for 3. When you played, you may attack with a unit. If it's Rebel, it gets +2/+0. She chooses Leia Organa. So again, this is kind of the thing Leia is going to be doing a lot of. She's going to be cheating through the actions by doing 2 actions in 1 every time. We're going to take a page out of her book, and we're going to go ahead and play Snowtrooper Lieutenant, and we're going to swing with our Death Star Stormtrooper, and we're going to go ahead and just go. We're going to go on this R2-D2. We're going to take the R2-D2 out. 7 damage. Yeah, that was probably a waste, but 7. But R2-D2 is a pain, and again, the more units she has, the more advantage she can take over those actions and swing with 2 a turn. We'll go ahead and pass. She has the initiative. We'll draw 2 cards. We'll make a decision from here. We're going to get rid of the Starwing Scout. Although it hits for 4, I'd rather have this Imperial Interceptor in case Leia plays a... Oh, there it is. Plays a space unit. It's a 2/1, and it gives 2 experience tokens to another friendly rebel unit, which is annoying. This takes Leia from a 2/2 to a 4/4. I can still take Leia out, which I think I'm going to have to. We'll play 2, and we'll take out Leia for 5. She'll draw a card, and it looks like she's swinging with the Fleet Lieutenant. All right, drops us down to 18. Let's use Tarkin's action ability. We're going to put another... We'll put on the Snowtrooper Lieutenant. We'll split this up a little bit. Now, Leia has gone ahead and taken the initiative for the turn, so the rest of this is just us. We'll swing with our Death Star Stormtrooper and hit Leia's base for 5. Then we will go ahead and swing with the Lieutenant and swing for additional 3, dropping them down to 22. So 22 to 18, we're at a 4-point difference. It's not bad, but we're going to have to play a little catch up here. Now we're about to hit 5, so we'll be able to clear this board. We got to give up something. I think we give up the Sympathizer. We'll give up the Imperial Interceptor because Overwhelming Barrage is going to clear this board a little bit better. Here comes Leia, and we'll go ahead and play the Barrage. Yep, we'll play the Barrage now. We give +2/+2 to our Death Star Stormtrooper, which allows us to do 7. We will do 1 here. And honestly, I think we're just going to go all 6 on Leia here. Let's take her down. She'll lose that raid ability. She's not swinging with anything. It just leaves that Fleet Lieutenant. Let's go... We're going to swing on the base. We're only going to take 3, so we're going to get dropped down to 15, but we're going to... Oh, well, that changed some things. That Rogue Operative came into play. But we have some answers. We have Agent Callus with Ambush, and I think that's who we'll use to take out some of these other units. 15 to 12. We're now ahead. We have no resources. Let's go ahead and take the initiative. Maximum firepower is good, but we really need more overwhelming barrages to get through here. Let's get rid of another Starwing Scout. 6 resources. We'll play Callus. Callus has an ambush ability, trigger, and we're going to swing on the Rogue Operative. So the Rogue Operative is a 2/4, but it has Saboteur, so it can get through Sentinel and Shields, and it has Raid 2. So it's actually a 4/4 when it attacks on our base. So we're just going to take that one out first. Callus will take 2 damage, and that's okay. He helped us clear the board. Now the Wing Leader comes into play with 2 experience tokens. That is not good. So now that thing is a 5/5. I think we just have to take this out. Yep, we got to take it out. We'll take care of the Fleet Lieutenant, leaving them just a Rebel Pathfinder. We have the Snowtrooper Lieutenant, and here comes the Millennium Falcon. What a jerk. So, piece of junk. The unit enters play ready. When you ready cards during the regroup phase, you pay 1 or return it to its owner's hand. So, all right. We'll go ahead and give an Imperial unit an experience token. We'll choose the Lieutenant. We're about to take 3, dropping us down to 12. It is what it is. Action ability, let's put Tarkin into play since we did it last turn, like we should have. We were so distracted with taking out Princess Leia. We'll attack with Tarkin. We'll go ahead and... I guess we'll attack the Tarkin's tower, Administrator Tower to give Snowtrooper Lieutenant another experience token. And then we will swing. We'll swing. So Leia can swing with 2 units a turn. So we may run into a problem here, but at most, I think she's only going to do 5 damage with what's on the battlefield. Let's pass and let's see what happens. If she doesn't take out this lieutenant, it's game. Get rid of the TIE Fighter. 7 resources left, so we can play Open Fire, we can play General Tag, we can play Maximum Firepower. And that's one of the things they did. Look at that. Leia comes into play immediately to exhaust a unit. She chooses Grand Moff Tarkin for some reason instead of the one that can kill him. Sometimes the AI just doesn't make the right move. Boom. Another win for Tarkin Red Aggro and Garbage Rollers build. Yeah, I think that's going pretty well. Let's go ahead and try a different one. We'll play it up against something else, and we'll go from there. So that loads. So we went against Leia. We went against Thrawn. Let's try it up against another deck here. So Home Run Han is built by Garbage Rollers. It's one I've had in my playtest gauntlet for a bit. I think it's good, and we'll just let the AI run that. This will be our last one trying of Tarkin Red Aggro. And if you want to see that deck list, you can find it on Star Wars Unlimited deck builder, swudb.com. You can also find a link to it down in the description of this video. All right, 2 tags. Take mulligan? No. Wow, we'll get rid of this, and we'll get rid of a tag. We're still seeing this Death Star Stormtrooper. Now, when you're playing Tarkin, that Stormtrooper is really important, or at least that 1-cost unit's really important your first turn. You want to be able to drop something and put an experience token on it, and it really puts the pressure on your opponent when you're going at them. So it's definitely something you want to see in your hand and make sure you're playing at least 6 cards, if not 9. So Han, if you're unfamiliar with him, he has an action to put a card from your hand into play as a resource and ready it. At the start of your next action phase, defeat a resource you control. So you can kind of move a little quickly with him, but you need to keep your resources filled. So it's interesting. As far as when he hits the field as a unit, on attack, you put the top card of your deck into play as a resource and ready it. At the start of your next action, you defeat that resource you control. So this time you're going to your deck and rather than your hand, so you may be losing some cards you want to see, but again, you're ramping a little bit faster. It's the idea of, I guess, of maybe being lucky and being fast. I just don't feel like we get the luck aspect that we would see with Han. So anyway, let's play a card. We'll play the Death Star Stormtrooper. Han will go ahead and exhaust to put a resource, and maybe that means we're going to see the Millennium Falcon next turn. And that's the kind of stuff that you could do. Well, let's see what they do. Okay, Greedo. Nothing big there. I'm going to take the initiative and see if Han does anything else. Han does nothing. Feels like a waste, maybe a bad AI play, but without seeing their opponent's cards, we don't know. I think this time, we're not getting a lot of troopers, but let's get rid of maximum firepower, I think. We have open fire and overwhelming barrage, so we can deal with some things already. Let's do an action. And we're going to give an Imperial unit another token. Han's going to play a resupply, which resupply, if you don't know... Oh, well, it's already gone. Resupply, when you play this event, for 3, you can put it into your resource pile. So that's essentially where it went. Go ahead and play another card. Let's play First Legion Stormtrooper. Snowtrooper, sorry. Greedo will go ahead and swing on our base for 3. I'm not really worried about that. Let's just go ahead and swing on his base, which we didn't really talk about. Let's take a look here. Energy Conversion Lab, straight out of Rogue One. This is where Jyn Erso's father was, coming up with the plans for the Death Star. As an epic action, play a unit that costs 6 or less from your hand and give it ambush for this phase. Okay, yeah. 6 or less can be a wide variety of cards. but it's only one, so it's good. I want to see what they're going to do with it. Let's hit pass. Han has the initiative, so we'll go from here. I no longer want to get rid of any of these cards, but we'll get rid of the TIE Fighter. Puts us at 4. So we can play a third trooper. Han is at 6 resources if you're not keeping count, which is unfortunate. We'll play this short trooper, and we'll play General Tag. Han plays Lothal Insurgent 3-2. When played, if you played another card this phase, which they did not, then I would draw a card and discard a card at random from my hand. Since that didn't happen, I can just play General Tag and put an experience token on all 3 troopers rather than spending 1 resource to use Tarkin's ability. Alright, Han plays another resupply. This is going to put him up to 7. That's rough. Let's go ahead and swing on the base. We're going to just have to aggro Han down. He's building up something, but he has no cards in hand. He now has a Han Solo in play, which is also bad. We're just going to go ahead and keep swinging on this base because we're going to drop it down to 11. So pressure is on for Han Solo. He swings. We take 4 damage to our base of Tarkin Town, puts another card into play, and we take the initiative. Greedo swings on us, killing Tag, killing Greedo, triggering his ability. He gets to do 2 damage to another unit by revealing and discarding an event. And he chose our Death Star Stormtrooper, who has 4 health total, but has taken 2 damage so far. Both of these cards are good, and we can activate Thrawn this turn. Let's do... Barrage is going to do the same thing as... well, not the same, but better than Open Fire right now. Okay, let's go... Let's play the guard first to give us a little time. Yep, here comes the Falcon. Okay. Action ability. We're going to give an Imperial unit an experience token. We're going to put... we'll put one on the guard. Han Solo has to swing into the guard. Killing it, taking 4 damage himself. We'll be able to remove Han Solo now. Let's do an action ability. Deal 3 damage to... Oh, a damaged non-leader unit. Well, that's bad. No! Alright, well, just like TTS, the problem I have with automated games is sometimes you make the wrong decision, and you can't go back. In this case, we're about to kill our big unit that does 6, which would have probably won this game. Unfortunately, there's no way to go back. We have to do the 3 damage, which kills the Death Star Stormtrooper. Lothal Insurgent swings on us, drops us to 15. I am not happy with this. User error, but that's alright. Making mistakes is one of the ways that we get better in games, honestly. If you're ever wondering, like, how do you really improve your gameplay? Is it playing games a lot? It's really just learning more from your play. And a lot of the times you learn more by making those mistakes. You run into situations that you couldn't believe happened, and you remember those situations going forward. I will always now remember that for Tarkin Town, I need that you can't use the leadership unit. No, maybe I just need to read the card, but again, you get excited, you move quickly, and you make the mistakes, and that's all right. We'll go ahead and pass. We got the base down to 2. Garbage rollers, fun deck. I'm sure there's other ways we can try this, and we'll probably try some other stuff in a bit as we move on to another creation by someone else. All right, they play home 1, but that's not really a big deal for us. It gives everyone restore, but who cares about restore? We'll just go ahead and swing with our shore trooper, and the game is over. All right, this was great. Let's go ahead and go back to the deck and take a last look at it. Tarkin Red Aggro, again, by Garbage Rollers. Fun little deck here. If you're looking for something aggressive and Imperial and just want to get more, experience with the game, this is a fun one to play. I recommend downloading it from swudb.com. And again, that link is down in the description below. Let's move on. We're going to go ahead and look at Tarkin Big Command by Serrg. Serrg or Serge? I don't know, but until someone tells me, we're going with Serge. Grand Moff Tarkin, we already know what he does, and Command Center, vanilla green, just 30, Death Star. So we're running a double green here, which is interesting. That double green comes in handy for right here, the command card. A 4-cost event, choose 2 in any order. Give 2 experience tokens to a unit. A friendly unit deals damage equal to its power to a non-unique enemy unit. Put this event into play as a resource, or return a unit from your discard pile to your hand. This card is great. Yeah, I think it's good. I probably should run it in the Tarkin deck that I wanted to play, but I didn't really make that choice. But you got to go double green or you're paying 6. So I think this was the right move. Let's see what they're playing. 297th Legion, which can get +1/+1 for every resource in play. ATST, 6 cost. Admiral Piet to give your non-leader units that cost 6 or more ambush. Looking at the Blizzard Assault, the ATST, and the 97th Legion. Coming in with ambush will be good. The Blizzard Assault is when it attacks and defeats a unit, you can deal the excess unit to another ground unit. Good card. Yularen here, who's going to heal your base for every green unit you play. Veers to give your Imperial units +1/+1. Playing the Moff Tarkin unit, where you can search the top 5 cards of your deck for 2 Imperials and put them into your hand. 3 Homestead Militia, which is a trooper but not Imperial, that has Sentinel. Snowtrooper Lieutenant to swing with those Imperial units. Super Laser Technician for the ramp. Gladiator Star Destroyer to give you, a little bit of Sentinel for the turn. The Relentless, once you get there, really great. TIE Advance and TIE Fighters. I've already talked about Command. 3 Overwhelming Barrages. 1 Prepare for Takeoff to search your top 8 cards for 2 vehicles. 1 Recruit, which is going to search for a unit. And 3 Resupplies. So a lot of ramp here. A lot of ramp. Choose this as player 2 and, player 1. Tarkin Big Command we're playing that now. And let's go up against Vader Control. How about that? Let's try there. All right. Again, we are trying Big Tarkin Command against a Vader deck, a little Vader Control here, where Vader's going to be putting a lot of upgrades on himself or other characters and just really wiping the board when he can. So for 1 resource with Vader, if you played a black card, which is the villainy aspect, you can deal 1 damage to a unit and 1 damage to a base, and he costs 7 to come out. All right, no mulligans for us. Let's see what we got here. Oof. I think we're just going to drop the Militia and the ATST for right now. We'll go with that. Play a card. We don't have a 1-drop, so we'll play Admiral Piet. Vader will go ahead and play TIE Fighter. We're going to take the initiative. Because Vader played a black card and they have 1 resource remaining, they'll activate that ability to deal 1 damage to Admiral Piet and 1 damage to a base. Makes sense. We're going to get rid of the ATST because 8 is going to still take us some time. We're going to go ahead and play Snowtrooper Lieutenant to put some damage in while we can. Attack with a unit, yes. I'm just going to go straight in. So 3 damage there. We didn't use Tarkin's ability because I didn't want to see what was going to happen, which is that. I was really worried that Vader was just going to kill whoever I put the experience token on. We'll put the experience token now at Admiral Piet, and we'll still be able to take the initiative and have go first next turn. All right, going into round 4, we are getting closer and closer to be able to play stuff. We're going to go ahead and put Admiral Piet in our resources since we already have one. And then we're going to use Tarkin's ability to put an experience token on Piet, making him a little stronger. We see Vader play his own lightsaber on the Death Star Stormtrooper. Sorry, Death Trooper. Making him a 6/4, so nothing pretty there, if you ask me. Let's play Resupply. This is going to give us 5 resources, so we're going to be able to put Tarkin into play. And the Death Trooper ignores Admiral Piet. We'll put Tarkin in. Vader will use his ability to deal 1 damage to Piet because of it's whenever they play a black card, which the lightsaber has the black aspect. We'll go ahead and swing on Security Complex. I probably should have swung on the Death Trooper, but I guess I would have killed it. Yeah. Oh well. Now this time we are going to be losing the initiative, and that's okay because we want to put this damage in, and that's a good 4, putting Vader at 16 and us at 18. Let's go ahead and pass. Vader has the initiative, but we are a little bit further in our resources than them. Overwhelming Barrage is good, but we want to put a little more pressure on Vader, and it's going to happen by putting out this ATSD. Vader plays another lightsaber. No bueno there. This time it's the Fallen one, so it gets +3 more health, so nothing good there, but we have this ATSD. So we can play Overwhelming Barrage and maybe kill the Death Trooper. Let's see, it's 6, 7, but it goes down to 5. Overwhelming Barrage, we could do it. We'll just play Overwhelming Barrage, I think. I wanted the ATSD, but we're just going to take care of this Death Trooper now. Alright, it's taken 2. It has 7, so we'll just do 5 there. And then we'll do the remaining 1 on the TIE Fighter, clearing the board, making Vader waste 2 lightsabers. He ends up swinging with Admiral Piet with his ability. We'll swing with Tarkin to deal 2 to the base. Vader probably should have put a shield token on his Death Trooper. Another experience token on Admiral Piet, and he will swing for a total of 7. Wow. Oh, it's because he had the +2 this turn, so that's really good. Let's pass. All right, well, the game is pretty much over. If you can't guess why. Tarkin's just too fast for Vader in this scenario. Vader goes first, plays Snowtrooper Lieutenant, nothing big there. Yeah, I think we are just going to... let's do this for fun. Let's play the ATSD, which is going to have Ambush, but he also has Overwhelm, so any excess damage goes straight to the base. So we get to destroy the Snowtrooper and deal 4 additional damage here, and which is pretty good. Vader wastes a takedown on the wrong card, which is fine. And we finish it off. All right. Big Tarkin Command by Serrg was a great card here. Great little deck. We'll try it out on something else. Let's go back. As this loads. There we go. Tarkin Big Command. Yeah, let's try it out against something else. Let's try Leia Tempo again. All right. This looks good. This looks good. All right. I think before we get to that, we're going to go ahead and go to intermission. So let's just go ahead and take a quick break, and I'll be right back in a few minutes. right, welcome back. Let's go ahead and get back to it. So if you're just now joining us, we have been playtesting Tarkin here tonight with Tarkin Red Aggro from Garbage Rollers, and now we are playtesting Tarkin Big Command by Serrg. You can find those decks on swudb.com or in the description down below. I have the links to those. But yeah. So, again, Tarkin Big Command by Serrg here. This is going to be our second game going up against the Leia Tempo deck. We're just going to see how that goes going forward. So, let's go ahead and start it up. Player one, and yeah, start. Oh, wow. Double resupply in my mulligans. In my opening hand here. So we're not mulliganing. Resupply is good. Recruit is good. Yularen's good. Piet's good. We're definitely dropping that 97th Legion as quick as we could get to it. Oof, this is tough. All right, I think it's 97th Legion and Recruit. Yeah, 97th Legion Recruit. Let's just go for it. That Recruit is going to get us more cards, but maybe Piet? Piet and Recruit. Piet and Recruit. That's where we're going to go. Piet and Recruit. Play a card. We only got one to play. Leia's going to be moving fast, so we're just going to be playing Yularen then. Leia plays Rebel Pathfinder, which is not a one-cost unit, which is great. As a reminder, Leia's ability is she can tap to attack with a Rebel unit, then attack with an additional Rebel unit. This means she can do 2 attacks in 1 action, which is breaking the game, as a reminder. Not fun. We'll go ahead and take an initiative here. We got the Relentless and we got the TIE Advance. I do enjoy the TIE Advance. The Relentless is 9, so we're just going to drop it. If we get closer to that, that's great, but we really want to start building on this. Let's go ahead and play Resupply. So we're going to pass on using Tarkin's ability this turn. Oof, they're going to play Wing Leader for 3 to give 2 experience tokens to a Rebel unit, which is this Pathfinder. So this Pathfinder just got a little bit better. So he has Saboteur, so it's going to ignore shields and Sentinel, and it's going to hit for 4. So nothing great about that. Yularen will go ahead and swing on the Administrator's Tower, and Leia will trigger her ability to make the Pathfinder swing on Yularen. So I guess that's fine. So, okay, well, let's move on. I was going to play TIE Advance, but we're not going to get to that. We're going to have 5 resources this turn, so we can play TIE Fighter and Resupply, or Piet and Resupply. So we will drop... We'll drop the TIE Fighter. 5 resources. Let's go ahead and play Resupply. And I want to see what our opponent does here. This puts us at 6, closer to 97th Legion. They play General Dodonna. It's going to give them a +1, which is annoying. All Rebel units get +1/+1. So this Rebel's Pathfinder is going to be swinging for a bit. Leia uses her ability correctly this time and swings with 2 Rebel units in 1 action. The Wing Leader hits me for 2, and the Rebel Pathfinder hits me for 5. No bueno there. We can activate our Tarkin, but we'll lose initiative. That initiative is going to be really good, so we're going to go ahead and take the initiative. All good. This maximum barrage is going to be better after 97th Legion comes into play, so we're just going to go ahead and drop the TIE Advance as a resource. We now have 7, while our opponent still only has 5. Admiral Piet's in play, so we can drop the 97th Legion right now, and it's going to have Ambush, which is great. And we are going to go ahead and swing... I'd rather swing on Dodonna. We'll swing on Dodonna. Terrans of Donna is like one of my favorite early cards in the Star Wars CCG from Decipher. Just a fun little one. I cannot remember his abilities, but he was a well-known card, very similar to that art that we see right there, which is a mimic of Episode 4 in the Yavin base. So, really cool to see him. Former Imperial, turned Rebel. I'm just really big fan of him and his story arcs. Would like to see what they're going to be doing with him with the new canon. He's not mentioned a whole lot, but really excited to see what happens there. Let's do an action ability. We're going to put a token. We're going to deploy our leader now. And Leia's going to swing with 2 units, and this is going to hurt. 4 damage, and then 4 damage. Drops us down to 14 there at 28. Oh, good. Tarkin can take this damage, but he won't finish off the Pathfinder. So we'll just go ahead and put an experience token on a 97th Legion, and in comes C-3PO. C-3PO, when it comes into play, you can choose, or when he attacks, choose a number, then look at the top card of your deck. If its cost is chosen number, you may reveal and draw it. A lot of Leo Tempo decks max out at 3. They do have some other high drops, but 3 is the most consistent. So, very smart there. I can still attack, but I'd rather take the initiative and go first next turn. Hopefully draw a big unit. I didn't realize they still had Leia because I wasn't counting their resources, and we get hit for another 4. Brutal. This overwhelming barrage is looking better and better, which I think is what we're going to do. All of these cards are good, and we are at 7 resources. So I think... Here are the options. Snowtrooper Lieutenant can give the 97th Legion here +2, and they get to swing this turn. Really good. We can take out C-3PO, we can take out Princess Leia Organa really quick. Overwhelming Barrage, though, is going to allow us to spread that damage a little bit more. So, man, I think we keep everything in our hand, and we're going to go 5-2. Barrage and Lieutenant. Yeah, maybe. Or no, I think we're going to go Snowtrooper Lieutenant and then swing, play card. Lieutenant, attack with a unit, 97th Legion for 2. They're going to swing on this base for 10. Nice. And then Leia's going to swing with 2 units, and that's where we got to make the decision here. So Leia swings for 3, hits us for 4 total. I don't know why. Oh, because of raid 1, and hits us for another 4. Ooh, all right. So now we play Overwhelming Barrage. Let's do some damage here. +2. We have 10 damage to deal. First one, 1 damage here. This has 3, 4, 5, so it needs an additional 3 here, which is great. We have 6 damage left. Let's do 3 here. Finish off the wing leader. 3 damage remaining. We'll go ahead and do 3 on Leia. Fleet Trooper swings for 3. Dang it. Wow. Big Tarkin command here takes it out. Is taken out. Wow. Close. I could have made a couple of other decisions here, but Leia just had a little bit different type of tempo. And, in hindsight, I guess I should have played the Homestead Militia just in case. But I really wanted to go pretty strong in there. And you can kind of see what the deck was doing. Let's go ahead and try another deck. So last one actually for Big Tarkin Command. All right, we've gone against Leia. We've gone against Vader. Let's do something fun. Let's go Home Run Han, I guess. Yeah, let's go Home Run Han. Another one by Garbage Rollers here. So Big Tarkin Command by Serrg versus Home Run Han. All right, no mulligans for me. Let's see what's happening here. Han mulligans himself. I'll decide what I need to get rid of. I really want to play this command card, so I think we're going to drop the Gladiator Star Destroyer and the... maybe the Blizzard. I guess the Blizzard. Choose exactly 2 cards. These two. These two. Yep. Let's get moving, I guess. Play a card. Admiral Piet. It's our only option. Han exhausts to put a resource into play. He could play a unit. We'll take the initiative, and he plays the unit I did not want to see, which is the Falcon. All right, Falcon comes into play. He swings for 3, and it's a 3/4. So we need an open fire, which we're not playing red. So we need something to deal with this pretty quickly. Good stuff, though. We'll drop the Tide Vance. I can't take out the Falcon, so I think we're fine to drop it. We can run Resupply, or we can run the Lieutenant. I think we're going to go ahead and run the Lieutenant. Put an experience token on Piet, who then gets tapped. All right. It's the wrong move, I guess. Cancel. Not good, not good. Really got us there with that one, Han. Really got us, man. Okay, I think the only option then is we can put a body on the field, or we can save the Lieutenant. I think we're going to go with the body. We'd rather have the body right now. Wasting 2 attack, and we take additional 3 from Han, taking the initiative. Now, the penalty with the Falcon is every turn, they need to pay 1 resource or return it to its owner's hand. So, they have to be doing something. We now have enough to play the command card to where we can give 2 experience tokens to a unit, and we can deal damage to a non-unique unit. Unfortunately, all these units are non-unique, so best thing we can do is put some experience tokens down and draw a card. Or sorry, put a card into our resource pile, which I think is what we're going to do. Yep. First option gives 2 experience tokens to a unit. We're going to... what options left to do? Plays resource. Yep. So 2 experience tokens are going to go on Piet. And now we're at 5 resources, which means we can activate Thrawn. Which we will. Action ability, Thrawn, put him into play, deploy the leader. Another layer again, it comes into play, tapping our Thrawn. We'll swing with our Admiral Piet on the base for 4. Piet right now is like 4/7, so Han's going to have to do some work. And we'll take the initiative. Now we're a little bit ahead of Han by 1 resource, which is good. We want to continue to stay ahead of him. We're going to drop the Lieutenant as a resource, giving us 6. So we can play Resupply and Colonel Leolarin, or we can draw Veers. Let's go ahead and let's play a Veers. See what the opponent does now that Veers is in play. They exhaust to put another resource in. All right, we will swing with Tarkin, and we will swing on Leia and put another token, this time on Veers. I really want to keep Veers in play a long time. That +1/+1 will help a little bit. It's not the end all, but it really can make your opponent just take a little bit more time to decide what they're going to do. Let's swing on... no, swing on the base. Han's going to play Greedo. I'm going to play a Resupply to give us an extra resource, dropping us to 7. And they're going to play an Admiral Akbar. So Admiral Akbar has Restore when he attacks, but really what helps Akbar is when you play him, deal damage to a unit equal to the number of units you control in its arena. So 3 total. So just the units you control in that arena itself. I'm getting really excited if we start to see characters with their ships. This is something we saw in Star Wars CCG with Decipher towards the end. They started putting out cards where they said like Luke Skywalker with lightsaber. So instead of Luke not having his lightsaber already with him, or having to attach it as an a unit, as a attachment of some type or an upgrade, like we see in this game, he already had it and had additional stats based on it. We saw the same thing with like characters in their ships, and I think Akbar would be a great one of like Akbar in Home One. So you pay a little bit more for the Home One, let's say 10, but now you get to deal damage based on units you control in the space arena, something like that. Could be interesting. I know. I'm just hoping for something great, but that's where we're at. Okay, so the board is currently Han's going to swing and the Falcon is going to swing, and Han's going to put more cards into that resource pile. Let's see what he does. We're going to take the initiative. There isn't anything else left that we can do. We're at 21. Han's at 16. See what happens. He swings on Veers. So me putting that experience token on Veers helped a bit. It really, again, puts your opponent and a little bit on tilt. They see Veers. They see you piling them up. They get really afraid. Again, we are only playing against AI, but it really does help when you can see something like that happen. Saves us a little bit. Veers takes a hit for the team, and we're all set to move forward. At this point, we're at 7 resources. We do have some cards that are going to cost us 7, 8, and 9. So we can play the Laser Technician. We can play the Snowtrooper Lieutenant. And we got really a lot of good cards here. I think we're just going to drop... Let's drop the Lieutenant this turn. Puts us at 8, so I think we'll play the Super Laser Technician and maybe the other Grand Moff. Or we can start healing. Healing's not bad, honestly. Let's play the heal. They're going to want to deal with Yularen now that he's in play. The opponent plays Lothal Insurgent, which is the last card they had in their hand. So pay 2, and it's the only card they played this turn, so they don't get the rest of these effects, which is fine. Let's go ahead and attack with Tarkin to put a +1/+1 counter on Admiral Piet. And who are we going to attack? Let's just attack the base and keep the pressure on there. Experience token on... No, let's go Yularen for the same reason as we did Veers. Really make them work for it. Admiral Akbar swings for 1. Tarkin's going to give us more cards, though. Let's go for Tarkin. 2 cards coming into play. Which ones do we want to resolve first? We'll heal the damage, and we'll look at the top 5 cards. We get to grab any Imperial card. So we got another Super Laser Technician. Ooh, I wanted that Barrage. Gladiator Star Destroyer, and a Command. So only 2 cards are going to have the Imperial tag. So we'll be taking those 2. Yep. And the Laser Technician. Thank you. Garrido's now going to swing on our base for 3, dropping us to 16. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to swing on their base, and that should drop him down to 11. Han attacks, hits our base for 4, drops us to 12. This leaves the Falcon left. I'm just going to take the initiative and take the additional 3 damage from that Falcon, putting us at 9. So we get to go first. We do have an Admiral Piet, and Admiral Piet means whenever we play a card, we can give it ambush when it comes in. These cards are fine, but I'll get rid of a Piet. Also, for every green card we play, we will heal our base. So that's pretty good. We're going to go ahead and do that now. We're going to play the Star Destroyer. And when Star Destroyer comes into play, give a unit Sentinel for this phase. So we're going to heal damage from the base. Give a unit Sentinel. We're actually going to give it to this Grand Moff Tarkin. Yeah, we'll get that one. And trigger Ambush to swing on this Falcon. So that's always fun. Gladiator Star Destroyer comes out of hyperspace and just destroys the Falcon. I would pay to watch that movie. I mean, as great as the Falcon is, you know, it's nothing. It's nothing like an Imperial Star Destroyer at the end of the day. Those things just look great every time. All right, let's attack with our leader Tarkin to put a +1/+1 counter on a unit. We'll go ahead and give it to Yularen. Keep him in play. All right, they play shoot first. They get +1/+0, and they gave it to Akbar? Nope, not the way to do it. Sorry, AI. I'm making some bad decisions today. But I do love Forge Stable for that reason. You just get to play the AI, you always have an opponent, you can load up the decks, and it'll do its best to make the best decision it can. Swing again. Now we can play Veers and finish this pretty easily, but I think we're going to have to play Veers, yeah. Veers comes into play, Lothal Insurgent swings, takes out Veers. Makes sense. Right move. The opponent has nothing left to do, and we want to go first next turn because we want to finish this. So I don't want any surprises, honestly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do we give up 6, or do we swing for 6, leave them at 1, and hope they don't drop anything for 7? I guess I'll just swing. Oh, we have it. I don't know why I thought they had 7. 6. And that's game. Wow. All right. So big Tarkin command. Great fun deck here. Again, you can find that description below. Serrg had a great fun deck here. Really enjoyed it. We played it 3 times. We played it against Vader. We played against Han. We played against Leia Tempo. Had a lot of fun here with that. And I think that just leaves one more. So let's go ahead and we're going to switch to the deck that we built here at Unlimited Power that I did here. Let's just go through it and see some of the differences. So I'm running green, yellow, and black. So villainy, command, and cunning. And the difference here that we see is the other two were running red or additional green. So we're going to see some similar cards. We've seen other ones. Admiral Piet, which makes sense. 3 of those. Agent Callus, a great 5-drop with ambush to kind of deal with other characters. Cell block guards for that sentinel and trooper ability. Emperor Royal Guard to give us a little bit more sentinel with the amount of officials we're playing, like General Tag, General Veers. I mentioned earlier it's important to run 1-cost units with Tarkin, so I'll be running the ISB agent since we're going yellow. So really good. We're not going to see that many events, but you know, either way, that 1-cost 1/3 can become really big really quick. Seasoned Shore Trooper, another great one because once you get to 6, it gets +2 automatically. Snow Trooper Lieutenant to give us a little bit more aggression there, and Super Laser Technician for the ramp. Now, what are we ramping towards in this deck? Devastator for 10. That's right. I'm just going for the big boy here. The Devastator. Inescapable. Fun. I believe Devastator is the Imperial Star Destroyer in Episode 4 that we see in the opening, going against the Tantive. So, yeah, just excited. Sentinel, Overwhelm. When played, deal damage to a unit equal to the number of resources you control. So 10. Yeah, this comes into game and can just deal with something big. I'm excited for it. The next big one we're playing is the Relentless. So 9-cost. First event played by each opponent. Each round loses all abilities. So 8/8 for 9. Big guys for sure. A little bit different from what we saw in some of the other decks. We're not running the Legion. We're not running the big ground units. We're running big Star Destroyers here. Using cards like TIE Advance to put more experience tokens out. TIE Fighter is another 1-drop we can use, giving us 6 1-drops for that first turn. And then as far as events, we've talked about it. Maximum firepower is pretty good when you have a lot of Imperial units, which we should. No Good to Me Dead to exhaust some of the bigger things. Overwhelming Barrage to really clear the board. And Resupply to get us there faster. Let's see how we do. I think for the first deck here, we're just going to go... let's go with a mirror. So Tarkin Red Aggro by Garbage Rollers and Tarkin Command is what I call this one. And you can find those links in the description below to those decks. Let's start. Okay. No mulligan for us. Again, as a reminder, I always, when playtesting, I never mulligan. I just take the worst hand and try to figure the deck out. I'd rather just learn how to play with a bad hand than always hope I get a great one or a god hand. So let's just see what we have here to work with. So no turn one, or level one, sorry, no unit that cost one in this start, which is really the ideal situation for Tarkin. So in a tournament, I would mulligan to get that one cost. But we don't have it, so I think this turn we're probably going to play Piet and see what the opponent does. As far as cards to give up, let's give up the Lieutenant and the Relentless. It's only one Relentless out, but we're not going to get to turn 9 that quickly. We'll play Piet. They'll drop a Stormtrooper. I'll take the initiative. Experience token on the Stormtrooper. That's the move for sure. We have another Piet in our hand. We're going to go ahead and get rid of him. And let's play Super Laser Technician. Let's just go ahead and try to get ahead here. He's going to put another token on the Death Star Stormtrooper. Say that 3 times fast. Death Star Stormtrooper, Death Star Stormtrooper, Death Star Stormtrooper. Oh, not that hard. 7 with that Stormtrooper Lieutenant, giving the Death Star Stormtrooper +2 for the turn. Again, it's a great deck by Garbage Rollers. It's fun. You know, if you like red, it's a good way to go. I'm a big fan of red. I just would really want to fit in the 5th Brother. So just that low cost Inquisitor that way that just is going to be dealing more damage, needs the experience token so he can get stronger and stronger. I like that a lot. I think that's probably the one thing I'd want to see with some red decks there. Let's go ahead and take the initiative. All right. So they now have a 3-cost Stormtrooper, which is unfortunate because I really wanted to deal with that. Let's go ahead and we need to drop a unit. All good, honestly. I think we will go ahead and drop the tag. I think we're going to drop tag. I have some ideas here. So let's go ahead and attack with the Super Laser Technician into the Death Star Stormtrooper, dealing 2. Yes, but I'm going to play his resource. This has now given us 5 resources, so we can activate Grand Moff Tarkin. We'll now play the ISB Agent. Reveal an event from hand. We'll show them Overwhelming Barrage to deal 1 damage to a unit. That's right, Death Star Stormtrooper is out of play. Tarkin uses their ability to put another token on the Snowtrooper Lieutenant. We have 4 resources remaining here. Let's go ahead and if we play Veers, that'll be good. But if we play the Cell Block Guard, we'll have Sentinel. I think we're going to play Veers. I really want their Tarkin to swing on the base. No, instead they play Snowtrooper Lieutenant and swing on my Veers. Okay, that's fine. I'll take that. Veers is gone. We get an action ability. We'll put a token on. We want to keep Piet alive a little bit longer. We'll also use a second action ability now that we have 5 resources on turn 3. Yeah, turn 3. We'll go ahead and swing with Tarkin. Let's swing on their Lieutenant. That way they can't put more tokens on them. Put a 1 on our Admiral Piet. And now we'll attack with our Piet for 3 on Tarkin Town. And we're going to pass. Opponent gets to go first this time. Let's see what they do. We have another Veers and we have another Super Laser Technician. Both are great. Both are going to get us what we want. But I really want this Cell Block Guard. I think we're going to get rid of the Cell Block Guard. I'd rather make everyone stronger as well as get resources out quicker. Okay, they play Agent Callus. Agent Callus comes into play with Ambush, but he only swings for 4, so he cannot take Grand Moff Tarkin out. We will now go ahead and play a General Veers to give Tarkin that +1 health. He will play his own Tarkin, which is fine. We'll attack with our Tarkin. And let's see. Unique is defeated. Yep, we're just swing on their base. Swing on Tarkin Town. Put an experience token on Veers. And now their Tarkin will attack our Veers, taking 4. Let's attack again with a pure Admiral Piet. So as you can tell, the difference between my deck and Garbage Rollers is it's a different kind of aggressive with a more build to get to. We're really trying to get to these bigger Star Destroyers. We just need to draw a couple more cards. Luckily, drawing 2 in Star Wars Unlimited is normal, so I'm excited for that. But I really should probably put some search cards in here. I'm going to play Super Laser Technician. They're going to swing with the TIE Fighter on us for 3, dropping us to 20. I think I'm just going to take the initiative, and we're not going to hit them with the ISB agent. We'd rather go first, especially if we can finally draw something big, which we do not. But we do have 2 ISB agents, and I think that's fine. I'm actually not going to put a card down. I would rather trigger ISB agents twice. So let's play, well, maybe just once. Let's actually do this. Swing for 2 into Callus with the Super Laser Technician. That's going to take down Callus, and our Technician's going to go into our resources. Now that gives us 7, so we can now play both ISB agents and play Overwhelming Barrage this turn if we want. Yes, reveal a card from our hand to deal 1 damage. This one, and we'll deal 1 damage to the TIE Fighter. Tarkin's going to swing, probably put an experience token on that TIE Fighter, killing our Tarkin. Which he did. So let's go ahead and play another ISB agent. And we'll reveal. And I think we'll just kill their Tarkin. Stormtrooper Lieutenant comes out. Gross. Hits us for 6. We'll go ahead and attack. Hit their base. We're now at 14-14. We'll drop them to 11. They're going to go ahead and take the initiative. We're going to go ahead and swing, bring them down to 10. And I guess we just wipe the board. No, we should really save this card. We're going to get +2 when we play it. So playing that on Piet could be the game decider. We'll probably take 1 damage, but we're not going to take 14. We'll take something. So let's cancel that, and we'll pass. Let's see what Garbage Roller's deck by the AI does against my Tarkin command deck. All these cards are good. I don't really want to get rid of them, so I won't. So we're pretty much in the late game here. I should still probably be building for a ship, but we kind of have the other Tarkin on the ropes. So I'd rather see what we do here. They play a TIE Advance. Okay, giving 2 more tokens to their TIE Fighter. TIE Fighter now has 6 health, but has taken 1 damage, so 5 total. We'll just go ahead and play Overwhelming Barrage now. 2 damage here. We have 5 damage to split up. 5 damage to split up. I think we're just going to go 3. And then 2. A Force Choke. That's all right. I'll take a Force Choke. Action ability. Let's give an experience token to Piet, who they're trying to kill. They'll give another token to their TIE Fighter, which puts them at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not enough to take me out this turn. Swing for 6. We'll take 7. They have nothing else they can play for free. There's no point of us attacking for the last 3 damage, so we're just going to go ahead and take the initiative, allowing us to go first. None of these cards really need to go down there, so we're fine. 4 damage remaining. Do we have this game? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, there it is. All right, so that was Tarkin versus Tarkin. Tarkin Garbage Rollers was up top, played by the AI, which you can find in the description below. And I played Tarkin Command. which you can also find below. And both the decks are found on SWUDB, where you can find all those hot decks. So that's pretty great. I'm going to play one, maybe two more games here with the Tarkin deck we created here at Unlimited Power. And let's just see what we have. So Tarkin versus Tarkin is done. Let's go Tarkin versus Tim Buns on blue. Dabu dee dabu die. As a reminder, we play tested Tarkin Decks last Tuesday, where we chose 3 decks, 2 of them, from the hot decks on SWDB, and built our own. And Tim's was one we found on there that had a lot of good votes. Tim Buns is a great guy. Was happy to find that deck and just kind of mess around with it. So we're going to try this again. Ooh, all the good cards. 2 overwhelming barrages, 1 maximum firepower, and a Veers. Wow. So again, this is why I just take whatever hand I'm given. Because if you get stuck with these hands, and this is after you mulligan, you have to figure it out. How do you come back from this? So I think this is one of those things that we just have to focus on and learn how to do. We're going to give up maximum firepower, even though it's 4. We may have the units in play. Relentless has to go. 9, we're not going to hit there. We're going to get rid of firepower. Overwhelming Barrage can just clear the board. It's really good. As a reminder of what Thrawn's abilities are, at the beginning of the action phase, he looks at the top card of each player's deck. For 1 resource and an action, he can reveal the top card of any player's deck and exhaust a unit that costs the same or less than the revealed card. So Thrawn's usually not going to, I don't know. He wants to go first. He doesn't want to give up initiative too often. He really want to be able to control the game, tap one of the bigger characters that your opponent's playing, especially when it's a Tarkin deck and putting experience tokens on something. Thrawn has some good capabilities and some good answers for Tarkin, but I don't know if he's going to be able to stop me generally what I'm trying to do. We only have 1 card we can play, and it's Admiral Piet. Again, when you play Tarkin, it's better to have a 1-cost unit, which we run 6 of in the deck, but we didn't see one this turn, so we just had to put something out. Thrawn was the same way, so needs a 1-cost unit to really take advantage of stuff, but plays a 2-drop and waste a Snowtrooper Lieutenant. So let's move on. All right, here we have a resupply, a cell block guard, and a General Veers. We're going to drop the cell block guard and trade it for the resupply. We're going to go a little fast. Play a card. So no benefit on Piet. This may force Thrawn to lower. Oh no, he didn't. So Thrawn just plays Veers. Okay, so we'll swing. We're going to swing right on Jedha City. And they're going to swing with the Snowtrooper Lieutenant to deal 3 damage to Admiral Piet. So, smart move. I'll take the initiative, though, Thrawn. I love this. This is one of my favorite things in Star Wars is the interactions between Thrawn and Tarkin. They don't happen much. They do happen in the newer Thrawn saga. If you're unfamiliar with the new canon, Grand Admiral Thrawn has 6 books where he is, for the most part, the main character. And in the first trilogy, it's about his time in Republic/Imperial space. And his interactions with Tarkin are great. Really love seeing it. Yeah, just exciting. So one of my favorite interactions are with Tarkin and Krennic and Thrawn, as they all have their own agendas of what the Empire needs and where they want to put their resources and time. You see a lot of this in the show Rebels. You see it in the books. But Thrawn's looking at the galaxy a little bit different and trying to prepare for things outside of it and coming up with other ways that aren't just big weapons and figuring out how to equip the Empire in a more efficient way. This is where we see the creation of these TIE Defenders come in as one of Thrawn's projects. And but you have people like Tarkin and Krennic really fighting for something else. And it's good. It's good to kind of see that rivalry in the, top Imperial, top Imperial rooms, essentially, these type of meetings. All right, so we have Admiral Piet, who's not going to last long. A General Veers and a Snowtrooper Lieutenant. Let's play the Snowtrooper Lieutenant because Piet's not going to last. And we're going to go ahead and swing on their Veers. We take out Veers. We lose our Piet, and that's okay. We can play our Veers now. Wow. They play TIE Advance to get 2 experience tokens out. We'll play Veers. Snowtrooper Lieutenant swings and takes out Veers, which makes sense. Killing the Lieutenant. It's a trade. We still get to, activate our Tarkin to come into play, deploy him as a leader. We'll lose initiative now, but we can start doing some more damage here to Thrawn's base. So let's put an experience token on our Lieutenant and pass. So Thrawn is sitting out there. Thrawn needs a total of 6 resources to come out, which is going to be this turn. We have an answer for him with No Good to Me Dead. I think we're just going to get rid of the sub-block guards this turn. And we'll wait to see what Thrawn puts out. Alright, Thrawn activates Jeddah City's ability to give a non-leader unit -4 for the turn. He chooses the Snowtrooper Lieutenant. We'll go ahead and swing with Tarkin for 2 on Jeddah base, Jeddah City. Pump our Lieutenant to 4 now with another experience token. And Thrawn uses his resource to tap the Lieutenant who couldn't swing. Okay. Let's pass. Another TIE Advance comes into play. All right. Well, now I wish I just took that out. That's tough. You know what? Let's play No Good to Me Dead there. And we pass. So the opponent did not put down a resource. Or I guess they did. They only got 5. We were just 2 ahead. All these are good. Veers is going to be helpful. The Seasoned Sword Trooper is going to be helpful. I think we're just going to get rid of an overwhelming barrage. Continuing that build up because we're going to need something big because we have not done that much damage. Thrawn comes into play. Now, Thrawn, when he attacks, he now no longer pays a resource to do the same ability. He can still look at the top card of a dex, and he can still tap one of our characters down, one of our units down. But he has to attack to trigger this. He's sitting at 9 health. We can bump this up to 6, which is good. But I think we're going to attack first with Grand Moff Tarkin. Swing on Jeddah City. Put a +1 counter on the Lieutenant. They're going to play a Veers, which is smart. They have nothing but Imperial units. We're also going to play a Veers, giving us a +1. And he's going to tap our Snowtrooper Lieutenant to hit our base for 4, bringing us down to 26. I'm going to drop a Seasoned Shore Trooper who gets +2 now that we have 6 or more resources. They're going to play a Waylay to return Veers to my hand, losing the power that I had, +1/+1 on all my Imperial units. I'm going to take the initiative, and we're going to take 3 damage from this TIE Fighter. All right. Not horrible. Not horrible. 22-18. It's a different type of game now, but that's all right. Let's lose the Shore Trooper. We're going to have Emperor's Royal Guard come out, which is going to have a Sentinel, which is good. Let's make them work for that, I guess. Or do we go Veers and Barrage? We really are worried about the TIE Advance, which is only sitting at 4. 2, 3, 4, 5. Not a whole lot. 5 and 2. Nope. Has to be more. Has to be more damage than that. We'll swing on Veers with our Tarkin. We'll put an experience token on our Lieutenant, which is, yes, we are putting a lot of experience tokens on one card, but we really want to take advantage of Maximum Barrage because he is going to tap down our Shore Trooper. All right, AI made an interesting move there. Okay, well, we're now at 4, 5, 2, 6, 7, 8. So we can go to 8. We can do that. Let's do that. Let's play Overwhelming Barrage now. Give the Snowtrooper Lieutenant +2 for the turn. We got 8 damage to deal. 1 is definitely going right here on Veers, which is great. We have a 4 going here, taking out the TIE Advance. 2 on the other TIE Advance. And then our last one will just go to Veers, or sorry, Thrawn for 1. So great move there. Here comes Boba Fett, a little too late to the game as a hired gun. Let's go ahead and swing. Sometimes the AI just does not make the best move. Sometimes I don't make the best move. Like, why didn't I play General Veers first? I don't know. We're not going to go first next turn if we play units. Well, we may. We'll play the Royal Guard, though, for safety. Yep. We lose the initiative. We're going to pass. I'll get rid of another Royal Guard, giving us Agent Callus and 9 resources. They're going to bounce a Royal Guard to our hand. Wow, Command, Cunning, coming into play again. This is a great card. I really slept on some of these 2 aspect cards, but tonight we've seen Cunning, we've seen Command, and they do a lot of work. It's really cool. So I think, yeah, I'm just kind of blown away by that. They tap 2 of our guys, and they put the Royal Guard back into our hand. That's good. Let's put the Royal Guard back into play. They have to. We want them to deal with it. We want them to swing. We want them to take the damage. They're going to tap down our lieutenant. That's fine. But they're going to have to deal. Going to have to deal with it. We'll play Callus. Callus comes into play. He'll ready. And we're just going to go ahead and swing on Greedo because he's a unique unit where we can draw a card. Greedo may trigger an ability, which he did, to deal 2 damage. But that's all right. A TIE Fighter comes into play. There isn't anything else left for us to do except get hit by this Boba Fett. So let's see what Boba does. 3 damage on... Yep. Has to go for the Royal Guard again. Fine by me. We have another Overwhelming Barrage, so we'll be able to take care of everything happening. I don't really want to drop any of these cards, so let's just go ahead and go play Overwhelming Barrage to get some of this taken care of. So give a unit +2/+2. And now we have 8 damage to split. We're going to go 2 on Boba. Taking him out, we draw a card because we have Callus, and it only matters if 1 unique unit is defeated this game, or sorry, this round. And we have 5 remaining. I think we just take out Thrawn. And we get waylaid. That's fine. This game is ours, really. So we have 4 left to play. Veers is going to give everyone a +1/+1, so we're going to choose that instead. They're going to put Greedo into play. We'll swing with Thrawn first. Sorry, Tarkin first. Give a +1/+1 to the Shore Trooper. Deal 3. We'll now swing with our Snow Trooper from the turn 1, I think. Turn 2, actually. We got into play. And we win. So there you go. That is Tarkin playtesting. We playtested 3 decks tonight, which was great. I had a lot of fun. I'm really glad for everyone who's watched or will watch. It was a good time. Again, these decks are in the description below with the links to SWUDB, which is StarWarsDeckBuilder.com. You can take a look at those. We played Tarkin Big Command by Serrg. We played Tarkin Command, is what I call it, by me, D-Rod, here at Unlimited Power. And we played Tarkin Red Aggro by Garbage Rollers. You're going to see a lot of Garbage Roller decks on there, especially in the hot ones. They have the most votes, which I think they're great decks. But again, we're getting new cards every week. It really changes the game. There's a lot of great leaders out there, and these aspects can really change things that we saw today, where we ran red, green, black, green, green, black, and green, yellow, black. So some options there for you. Next time we do this, I'll be looking for some other colors. So post your decks on SWUDB, and maybe they'll get voted up, and I'll find them. Or you can, yeah, just keep playtesting. I'm really enjoying this. You can also catch me on Saturdays as we do another sealed, and we'll go through and just play a couple hours of sealed format here on Force Table. If you're not on Force Table, it's a great way to try out some of these decks against AI. You can also join their Patreon to do their sealed drafts events. So, anyway, had a great time. Have a good night. See everyone on Saturday. Oh, thanks.